All right, in this video, we're going to look at three different types of word problems that use some of the different forms of the equations that we have used. So slope-intercept, standard form, having given a point and a slope, can we write an equation? So all the things we've been doing, but now with some word problems. Okay, so Evan's going to the county fair this weekend. Admission to the fair is $5, and then the cost per ride is 50 cents. Okay, so if I want to write an equation in slope-intercept form, okay, his parents gave him $20, and we want to know how many rides he could go on for $20. All right, well, the cost per ride part is going to go right here. I know it's going to be 50 cents, so 0.5 times x times however many rides he goes on, plus $5 to get into the fair. And he has $20 to spend. All right, and so now we're going to solve this for x. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I would have 15 is equal to 0.50x divide by 0.50. And that would mean that x equals 30. And so whenever we write word problems, though, we're going to write our answer in words because the question was given to us in words, so we're going to answer in words. So I'm going to say Evan can go on 30 rides. Okay, so make sure we say what this number means. All right, second type of problem. Okay, now we're going to have two different variables. So Sam ordered 2 hamburgers and 3 hot dogs from the concession stand. Okay, so he ordered 2 hamburgers and 3 hot dogs. We're going to assume those cost a different amount. And his bill came to $19.05. All right, now we have 2 variables. We don't know how to solve equations for 2 variables yet, but they gave us another piece of information, which is that hamburgers cost $5.25 each. So that would be 2 times $5.25 plus 3y equals $19.05. And now this is an equation we know how to solve. So we're going to go ahead and do this multiplication. 2 times 5.25 is 1050 plus 3y equals 1905. I'm going to subtract 1050 from each side. All right, so now I have 3y equals, and that is going to be 855, and then I divide by 3, and I get y equals 2.85. So my answer in words would be each hot dog costs $2.85. All right, then the third type we're going to look at is where they give us what would be the equivalent of a point and a slope. So at Eagle Bay, it costs $12 per hour to rent a canoe. Nate and his friends rented a canoe for 4 hours and paid $68. Write and solve an equation to find the cost to rent the canoe for 7 hours. All right, so here we have 4 hours and $68. Well, 4 times 12 is 48, so that means there must be some extra cost, okay? So I know that 68 is equal to 4 times 12. Where did I get 4 times 12 from? Well, they rented it for 4 hours, and they told me it cost $12 to rent a canoe. Plus, I'm just going to use X as some extra number. They must have some like rental fee or something besides the per hour cost. Okay, so 68 is equal to 4 times 12 is 48 plus X. So if I subtract 48 from both sides, I get 20 equals X. So now I know that to rent a canoe, it costs $12 per hour plus $20. So if I want to rent the canoe for 7 hours, now I can put that 7 in for X and figure out the total cost. All right, so 12 times 7 is going to be $84 plus 20 means it's going to cost me $104. So in words, the cost for 7 hours is $104. All right, now We have one more type that we're going to look at. I thought there was only 3. There's actually 4. So to surf the internet for 15 minutes at an airport, it costs $4.05. For 40 minutes, it costs $5.80. We want to write and solve an equation. So our equation should look something like this. Okay. I know I'm going to assume that it's going to be some cost per hour plus a flat fee. That's usually how these cost problems work. So I need to figure out what that per hour cost is. All right. So if for 15 minutes it costs 4.05, I'm going to treat that like an ordered pair. And then for 40 minutes, it costs $5.80. Now I have 2 ordered pairs, all right, which is what we did last class. So I can find the slope between these things. So I have 4.05 minus 5.8 over 15 minus 40. So that's going to give me negative 1.75 divided by negative 25. Because we're dealing with money, we can go ahead and simplify this to a decimal. Normally we wouldn't do that, but in a word problem where we're dealing with money, it's okay to do that. So I have 7 cents per hour. All right, so then my equation would be y equals, sorry, we're going to do point slope form. So y minus y1, which is 4.05. equals x, which is 0.07, times x minus x1, which was 15. All right, so I have y minus 4.05 equals 0.07x minus 1.05. And then to get y by itself, I'm going to add 0.405 to both sides. So I get y equals 0.07x plus 3. All right, so there's my equation. I want to find the cost for surfing the web for 1 hour. So for 1 hour, that would be y equals 0.07 times 1 plus 3. So that would be 3.07. And again, we're going to write our answer in words. So for 1 hour, the cost is, write a dollar sign because it's money, $3.07.